Welcome to Motivational Humanity. You are not alone. Good evening, everyone. We live in a world where distractions are everywhere. Notifications buzz, deadlines loom, and let's not even get started on the endless scroll of social media. It's not just about time anymore. It's about presence. It's about showing up fully in our lives, for ourselves, and the people we care about. Today, I want to share you the truths about distractions, truths that aren't just about productivity, but about reclaiming our connection to what truly matters. This is entertainer and educator Karen Dow. Distractions often seem like harmless diversions, scrolling through social media, watching just one more episode, or diving into busy work that doesn't truly matter. But beneath these behaviors lies something deeper. Most of the time, distractions aren't just random. They're intentional. They're the mechanisms we use to avoid discomfort, fear, or vulnerability. Think about it. When was the last time you reached for your phone? Not because you needed to, but because you didn't want to sit with your thoughts. Maybe it was after a tough conversation, a moment of loneliness, or an overwhelming to-do list. Distractions give us a way out, a way to bypass feelings or situations we're not ready to confront. Here's the hard truth. Avoidance only postpones the inevitable. The things we're trying to escape, whether it's the stress of a looming deadline, the fear of failure, or the weight of a difficult emotion, don't disappear because we distracted ourselves. They sit there, waiting. And often they grow heavier the longer we ignore them. And the irony is that while distractions offer a momentary sense of relief, they often leave us feeling worse in the long run. We feel guilt for procrastinating, frustration for losing time, and a lingering sense of disconnection from ourselves and our goals. It's a cycle that feeds itself. The more we avoid, the more distractions we seek, and the more disconnected we become. Breaking this cycle requires courage. Courage to stop running and to face what we've been avoiding. It starts with curiosity. Instead of judging ourselves for being distracted, we can ask, what am I really avoiding right now? What am I feeling? It might be fear, self-doubt, or even boredom. Whatever it is, acknowledging it is the first step to freeing ourselves. When we can name what we're running from, distractions lose their grip. We realize that what we feared facing often isn't as insurmountable as it seemed. And even when it is, confronting it head on is far more empowering than letting it linger in the shadows. Distractions thrive on avoidance, but presence thrives on courage. And every time we choose to lean in instead of escape, we reclaim a little more of our time, our energy, and ourselves. And attention is one of the most precious resources we have, yet it often slips through our fingers without us noticing. In many ways, where we focus our attention reflects what we value most in life. It's not just about how we spend our time, it's about what we prioritize, what we nurture, and what we let shape us. Think about the last 24 hours. Where did your attention go? Was it spent with loved ones, working on something meaningful, or pursuing personal growth? Or did it disappear into the endless scroll of social media, trivial tasks, or mindless entertainment? These choices, conscious or not, paint a picture of our priorities. The truth is, attention isn't neutral, it's an investment. When we give something our attention, we're saying, this matters. And over time, the things that consistently capture our attention shape who we are. If we focus on negativity, we risk becoming cynical. If we dwell on distractions, we miss opportunities for growth. But if we direct our attention toward relationships, creativity, or personal goals, we build lives filled with purpose and connection. The challenge is that our modern world is designed to pull our attention in a million directions. Notifications, advertisements, and algorithms are constantly competing for our focus. And while it's easy to blame technology or the pace of life, the real question we need to ask ourselves is, are we being intentional? Are we consciously choosing where our attention goes, or are we letting it be dictated by external forces? Are we letting a platform be dictated by external forces? Being intentional with our attention requires self-awareness and discipline. It means pausing to ask, does this align with what I truly value? It's not about perfection or never indulging in a little downtime. It's about ensuring that, over the long term, the majority of our attention aligns with the life we want to create. This alignment is powerful because it helps us live in integrity. When our attention reflects our values, we feel a sense of harmony between what we believe and how we live. For example, if we say we value family but spend most of our free time distracted by work or social media, there's a disconnect. But when we consciously choose to put down our devices and truly engage with loved ones, we're living in alignment with our values. Attention is a finite resource. Once a moment has passed, we can't get it back. This reality isn't meant to scare us, but to inspire us to be more deliberate. Each day we have countless opportunities to redirect our attention toward what truly matters. By doing so, we not only honor our values, but also create lives filled with intention, connection, and meaning. Perfectionism is often celebrated as a virtue, but in truth, it's one of the most insidious drivers of distraction. On the surface, perfectionism looks like high standards or ambition, but underneath, it's often rooted in fear of failure, criticism, or not being enough. And this fear can paralyze us, pushing us toward distractions that keep us safely removed from the risk of imperfection. How many times have you put off starting something because the conditions didn't feel just right? Maybe you told yourself you needed more time, better tools, or the perfect plan before you could begin. While this might seem like a reasonable approach, it's often a subtle form of avoidance. Perfectionism creates a false narrative that unless everything is flawless, it's not worth doing at all. And so instead of taking imperfect but meaningful action, we distract ourselves with tasks or activities that feel safer. The irony of perfectionism is that it creates the very conditions it fears. By delaying action in the pursuit of perfection, we often end up with rushed work, missed opportunities, or a sense of regret for not starting sooner. The distractions we turn to, whether it's reorganizing our workspace, over-researching, or procrastinating with something trivial, don't move us forward. They keep us stuck in a loop of inaction and self-doubt. At its core, perfectionism is about control. It's the belief that if we can make everything perfect, we can shield ourselves from pain, rejection, or disappointment. But life doesn't work that way. No matter how much we try to control outcomes, uncertainty is part of the process. Waiting for perfection doesn't eliminate risks. It just delays our ability to face them with courage. The antidote to perfectionism isn't lowering our standards. It's embracing imperfection as part of the journey. It's realizing that messy, imperfect action is far more productive and meaningful than flawless inaction. When we stop striving for perfection, we open ourselves up to growth, creativity, and connection. We learn through trial and error, and we discover that our worth isn't tied to perfect outcomes, but to our willingness to show up and try. Breaking free from perfectionism means letting go of distractions that offer a false sense of progress. It means giving ourselves permission to be human, to make mistakes, and to learn as we go. The truth is, the perfect moment rarely arrives. The best time to start is now, with all the messiness and uncertainty that comes with it. Because at the end of the day, what truly matters isn't perfection, it's progress. Boundaries are often misunderstood. People sometimes think of them as walls, barriers we put up to keep others out. But in reality, boundaries are the opposite. They're bridges that connect us to ourselves and others in a way that's healthy, sustainable, and authentic. Setting boundaries isn't about rejection or selfishness. It's about love for ourselves and for the people around us. When we don't set boundaries, we risk overextending ourselves. We say yes when we really mean no, take on more than we can handle, or stay silent when something feels wrong. Over time, this leaves us feeling depleted, resentful, or even disconnected from our true selves. We can't show up fully for others when we're constantly sacrificing our needs and values. Boundaries are acts of love because they create clarity. They let others know what we need and what we can give, ensuring that our relationships are based on mutual respect and understanding. Without boundaries, relationships can become muddled, expectations are unclear, and resentment can grow. But when we communicate our limits with kindness and honesty, we foster trust and connection. It's important to remember that boundaries are not about controlling others. They're about taking responsibility for our own well-being. We can't control how people respond to our boundaries, but we can control how we express them. Setting a boundary might mean turning off work notifications after hours, saying no to a commitment we can't handle, or asking for space when we need time to recharge. These actions aren't about shutting people out. They're about protecting our energy so we can show up more fully when it matters. Boundaries also teach others how to treat us. When we set and maintain clear boundaries, we model self-respect. We show others that we value ourselves, and in doing so, we invite them to do the same. This isn't always easy. Some people may struggle with or even push back against our boundaries, especially if they're used to us overextending ourselves. But holding firm to our boundaries is an act of courage and self-love. And this is an act of courage and self-love. One of the most profound ways boundaries show love is by preventing burnout. Whether in relationships, work, or daily life, boundaries allow us to give from a place of abundance rather than depletion. When we care for ourselves, we have more to give to others. More patience, more energy, more presence. Without boundaries, even the things we love can become burdens. Ultimately, boundaries are about alignment. They help us live in integrity with our values, ensuring that our time, energy, and resources are spent on what truly matters. By setting boundaries, we honor our needs and create space for deeper, more meaningful connections. It's not about saying no to people. It's about saying yes to ourselves and to relationships built on love, respect, and authenticity. In a world filled with distractions, presence can feel like a rare and fleeting experience. We've all had those moments where we're physically in one place, but mentally somewhere else, thinking about what's next on the to-do list, rehashing something from the past, or scrolling through a device while someone is talking to us. Distractions pull us away from the here and now, leaving us scattered and disconnected from what truly matters. Presence, on the other hand, is a profound act of grounding ourselves in the moment. It's the antidote to distraction because it draws us back to reality, the people, experiences, and feelings right in front of us. Presence isn't just about focus, it's about connection. It's about fully engaging with life as it unfolds, without judgment or the urge to escape. When we're present, we give our undivided attention to what matters. Imagine sitting across from a loved one and truly listening. not formulating your response, not glancing at your phone, but hearing them with your whole being. In those moments, we create space for understanding, empathy, and intimacy. Present says, you matter to me. This moment matters to me. This moment matters to me. But presence isn't just about being with others. It's also about being with ourselves. Distractions often arise because we're uncomfortable sitting with our own thoughts, feelings, or the silence of the moment. We reach for our phones, turn on the TV, or dive into work to fill the space. Presence asks us to do the harder, braver thing, to pause, breathe, and simply be. It invites us to notice the sensations in our bodies, the rhythm of our breath, or the beauty of something as simple as sunlight streaming through a window. Cultivating presence requires intention. In a world designed to pull us in a million directions, being present is a skill we must practice. It might look like turning off notifications during dinner, setting aside time each day to reflect, or creating rituals that anchor us in the moment, like a mindful cup of coffee in the morning or a walk without headphones. These small acts of presence remind us that life isn't happening later, it's happening now. Presence also teaches us to embrace imperfection. When we're present, we stop striving for an idealized version of the moment and instead accept it as it is. We notice the laughter in a conversation, even if the dishes are still in the sink. We savor the joy of playing with our kids, even if there's work waiting. Presence frees us from the trap of when thinking. I'll be happy when this happens, and brings us back to the truth that joy and connection are available right here, right now. The beauty of presence is that it doesn't require perfection or hours of free time. It's available to us in the smallest of moments. It's in the way we greet someone with a smile, take a deep breath before responding, or pause to notice the world around us. Presence doesn't ask us to be flawless. It asks us to be real. When we choose presence over distraction, we reclaim our lives. We move from feeling scattered and overstimulated to feeling grounded and connected. We deepen our relationships, honor our own needs, and find a sense of peace that no amount of scrolling or multitasking can provide. Presence is a gift not just to ourselves, but to everyone we encounter. And it's one we can give moment by moment, starting right now. So here's my challenge to you. What distraction will you put down today to make space for something real? You don't have to overhaul your life overnight. Start small. But start, because no matter how loud the world gets, you have the power to choose, to reclaim your attention, to say no more distractions, and instead say yes to what matters most. Thank you.